51, 52, 53, 50. Wow, the game is that good? And it's still going from last night? I'll be right up there. Sunday morning, we've made it to the Bellagio. Unfortunately, there isn't a seat in the 5, 10, 20 game, so we're waiting. We're first up, we're waiting. Let's just see what happens. The last vlog was all about trying to crawl out of a downswing and rebuild confidence. Yesterday ended with a positive result, and I returned today to build on that. Mentally, I'm still battling through internal confidence issues, which is pretty normal for poker players. There are two approaches when going through these things: take a break, or play through it. I'm in the crowd that tends to do the latter. My friend Christian Soto is back in town for a bit, so I head back to the Bellagio to play, hang out, and battle. Here we go. It's early, but I join a game that has been playing through the night as 5, 10, 20. But it appears the 20 portion has now been removed, so it's reverted back to a normal 5, 10 game. After winning and losing some really small pots, I get into the first memorable pot of the day. I say memorable because, well, you'll see. The Under the Gun 2 player opens to $40. This is his normal opening size, so it doesn't set off red alerts. I, from the cutoff, make a mistake here by calling with King Queen offsuit. I probably should be raising or folding this hand, but it is what it is. The small blind gets in there too, so there are 3 of us. Ace, Jack, 4, Rainbow. The small blind checks, and the early position opener continues for $60. This early position player holding a big ace, or even a set, isn't out of the question, but I have a gut shot to the nuts. Pretty trivial call by me here. When action is back on the small blind, he check raises to $280, leaving himself with about $1,100 behind, and the early position player calls. Now things are a bit trickier. The likelihood that I'm going to get to see the river cheaply if I call this turn bet have dropped to almost nothing. We also aren't deep enough for me to chase those potentially 4 10s left in the deck, and I have the "I shouldn't have even been in this hand" thoughts swirling around in my head. I think about it for a second and let it go. Only to see the 10 of spades hit the turn immediately, quickly followed by the small blind shoving his remaining $1,090 into the pot and getting snap called by the Under the Gun 2 player. I feel sick. The river deuce of diamonds helps no one, and the small blind scoops this pot with a set of 4s. So, 10 minutes in, and I'm already making the wrong decision on every street. This is going to be a long day. Not long passes, and in this hand, the hijack, who has been very active to say the least, opens to $30, and I defend from the big blind holding 10-6 of diamonds. Pretty standard. Ace of diamonds, 4 of diamonds, 9 of spades. Not a bad flop, all things considered. I check, and the hijack continues for small, $20. Pretty standard on this sort of texture. Action is on me. My hand has potential, yet I don't want to fall into this trap of check calling every street hoping for good cards to come. Considering the fact that the hijack is playing too many hands, and even leveraging the equity in my exact hand, this is a bit of a stretch, but I check raise here to $95. The table as a whole has been playing pretty passively against this guy, but I'm getting a sense that he likes to be the aggressor, not so much the defender. He takes a second and finds the fold. So we folded King Queen offsuit earlier and missed out on turning the nuts. But in this hand, the dealer just hands us the nuts pre-flop. 3-5 suited. The low jack, unaware of this, opens to $30. With a hand as strong as mine, I'd like to build a pot. but not scare villains away instantly. So I just call. Queen 5-6 rainbow. The LoJack checks, and holding bottom pair with a spade on the board, I basically have a strangle lock on this hand. Whatever the LoJack is holding, he probably doesn't have many outs. I take the betting lead by tossing $30 into the pot. He wisely folds. I open pocket sixes under the gun to $20. The $20 under the gun open really throws people sometimes. A third of the time they aren't paying attention, so they assume it's a straddle, and thus raise too small. Another third of the population assume it means weakness and overplays their hand. And the last third, well, they've kind of caught on and play accordingly. I'm not sure which bucket the hijack is in here, but he tosses in one black chip. I don't know if he meant to call or meant to raise, but either way, it's a call. We head to the flop, heads up. 6-10-3 with 2 clubs. I check, and he now bets $30. I check raise to $90. He doesn't pause at all and instantly calls the $90. That's a good sign. Maybe he meant to raise pre-flop and he has an overpair? Still heads up, and the 5 of diamonds slides in on the turn. I stick with my larger sizing and bet $220 just in case he does have an overpair. But he snap folds, so he likely just had some sort of draw. With the 3 seed having doubled up with pocket 4s about an hour prior, I knew he'd be leaving soon. When he does, I quickly slide out of the horrid 1 seat and into the now vacant 3 seat. The first hand I see from this new perspective is 2 black 9s. I open to $30 from the cutoff and get called by that active small blind. Heads up. Jack 10 deuce with 2 diamonds. He checks, and I don't have many reasons to build a pot here. I check. Queen of spades. He checks again, and I check it back. I guess it's better late than never, but the 9 of diamonds makes an appearance on the river. Now the small blind leads for 1 big blind. The flush has gotten there. There's a 1-liner to a straight. But I still think my hand is worth more than 1 big blind. I raise to 2 big blinds, obviously folding if he re-raises, but for this price, maybe getting called by 2 pair.
I'm not gonna make it this. That's what I'm making it this.
You'd have made it 30, I would have folded.
Nice and wait.
Yeah. You just make it 30, I fold. never a bluff.
I thought about it.
Yeah. A few hands later, the under the gun player limps, and I determined that the proper amount should be $40 to go, holding king 9 of spades from the under the gun 2 spot. Our active 5 seat, now in the hijack, calls that bet, and the under the gun player tosses in an additional $30. 3 of us. 3-7-6 with 2 spades. When both the under the gun player and I check, action returns to the hijack. He bets $60 and the under the gun player folds. I'm not going anywhere with 2 overcards and a flush draw. The turn pairs the 3, which really shouldn't change much. I check, and he slows down and checks behind. The river brings the ace of hearts because at some point in this poker journey I'm on, I've forgotten how to make flushes. However, that ace fits nicely into my under the gun 2 range and flop floating range. Ace-X suited makes a lot of sense as one of my potential holdings here. I lead for $120, which gets our villain to tank for a while, and again, fold to my bluff. Don't get me wrong, it's good that my bluffs are working, but damn. It would be nice to just make a hand, you know? Card distribution in poker is funny. Some sessions you can go multiple hours with nothing playable, and other sessions every hand you look down at is worthy of opening. I'm going to show you a block of 7 hands that I saw shortly after moving to the 3 seat, and you'll see that I was in the latter group. Hand 1. I open King-Queen offsuit to $25 from the low jack and get no action. Hand 2. I open pocket 10s from the under the gun 2 spot to $25 and get no action. Hand 3. I'm under the gun and... oh, damn. Okay, maybe I get out of line by opening this one. I mean, I truly just want to fold, but I open at $20. The dealer says, raise to 20.
Raise to 20.
And the under the gun 2 player calls. Let's stop here for a second. This player, the man on my direct left, is getting fed up with me. You know how you can just sense it? I can feel the fed upness seeping through his pores. I'm definitely annoying him with my weird sizes and constant opens and giggling like a schoolgirl, all of that. Okay, let's continue. The 7 seat, also the cutoff, raises to $100. I call, and the under the gun 2 player also calls. The 7 seat then says, gotta protect that straddle, huh? I say, no, it was an open, no straddle. And then the dealer reiterates that she said, raise to 20.
3 players.
No, it was an open. Remember what I said earlier about the 3 buckets of players and how they react to the $20 open? Case in point. Anyway, I catch the magical 1 out of 1,000 flop where this piece of shit hand flops a pair. King 9-4 with 2 diamonds. I check, and the remaining players do as well. On the turn, the 8 of hearts appears. Well, I can't check anymore. God knows my hand needs all the help it can get. I bet $110, and after a short pause, the under the gun 2 player calls. I'm so annoying him. The cutoff folds. The river deuce of diamonds brings in the front door flush, and as you can see, I have no diamonds in my hand. But my hand is too good to check and let him check it back with king jack or king 10 or something. So I bet $160. He thinks, then sighs, and finally folds. He's full-blown frustrated now. Okay, what was that one? Hand 3? Okay, so now we're on to hand 4. The low jack opens to his standard $40. The cutoff calls. The button comments on that 4x opening size by the low jack.
Scary open.
And calls at the same time I'm looking down at 2 kings. Card distribution is crazy. I squeeze to $260 and everyone folds. So 4 hands so far, 0 showdowns. I would love to say that I kept it going with hand 5, and honestly I would have kept it going, but the cutoff opens to $30 and I'm not going to get out of line versus him with deuce 5 of diamonds. So I fold this one. So now we're at hand 6 and I'm on the button and action has folded to me. I look down at 6-4 of diamonds. Good enough. I open to $30 and the very annoyed small blind calls. The typically active big blind gets in there as well, so 3 of us see a flop of deuce, jack, 5, rainbow. The small blind donks for $40 and the big blind folds. The small blind has been pretty passive, so is he leading because he has a real hand? Or is he leading because he hates me? Or a little bit of both? It's probably a little bit of both. I have another gut shot. The poker gods tried to reward me earlier and I folded my gut shot draw. But here versus this guy that's watched me open 5 of the last 6 hands on his right is frustrated and can't possibly believe that I always have it. The upside is just too good. I gotta try. I call.
It's good enough.
3 of clubs. Oh shit! Oh my god. He's going to be so mad. He leads for $90. My only thought now is how do I get the rest of his chips? This pot is just too small. I raise to $300. He glances at me, then pauses for a long time. 21 seconds to be exact. That's a long pause. Then calls. Dealer, for the love of God, do not pair this board. You better not. Queen of spades. The small blind checks, and I guesstimate that he has about $1,500 behind. I tank. All in.
All in.
He drops pocket deuces onto the table and he's not happy at all. So, I was probably right. A little bit of he hates me and a lot of bit of having a real hand. The seat to my left is now empty, and I open and win the blinds in the next hand. Nothing special there. However, something does change. My confidence returns. Just like that. After what felt like forever getting my money in ahead and losing, I finally won one. Now I have chips. Now I can play. I feel unstoppable. Oh, shit.
Went from freezing cold and now we burning hot. Getting all the smoke like some tea hit in the kettle top. Everlasting flame, haters lame, trying to make it stop. Use that as my fuel, then I take it up another notch. Blow the spot, make them watch, let them know they on the clock. Any money more, once I see them, I'ma point them out. Send them up, it's gonna be a minute.
I knew immediately I threw the money in the middle. Okay, I just set on fire like that.
They know we near. It's getting hot up in here. You know it get heated at the top. I'm on fire, I can't stop.
I'm on fire, I'm hot. Turn me up a notch. 600 degrees, got me burning up the spot. Press up out the pot. Get it till I got.
So far, so good. So far, it's going great. You can sit down with whatever you want. You go sit down with 20K, nobody will say anything.
Oh, really? For you?
For you, nobody will say anything.
In fact, all of a sudden now everyone has 20K.
Yeah, everybody's got
How did that happen?
Yeah. What's up? So we're done. We are out of here. We asked for a good session, and a good session we received. In for 2K, out for